Hi there, everybody. I am your host, JPOOL from JPOOL's Gnerd Corner, and I'm here with my special guest for Cosplay Spotlight,
Sara Moni. Hi guys, how's it going?
Hi there, Sara Moni. Can you tell the viewing and listening public who exactly you are and what you do?
Who am I? That's a good question because I'm a different person every convention. Most of my cosplays are Marvel. I've been cosplaying since about 2010 and love X-Men, so I have tons of mutants. For non-Marvel costumes, I've got Inara Sarah from Firefly, Sailor Pluto, I have Pocahontas, and a handful of others. A Frost Giant. I like to go a little bit against the grain for what you don't always see at every con. 1,000 Catwoman and Harley Quinns, etc., etc.
Nice, nice. And can you tell the viewers and the listeners, what was your first cosplay?
My very first cosplay was my version of Alice from Alice in Wonderland. I did like a twisted psychedelic version, and she had the striped stockings and everything was UV. And so I had a hot pink and black like teacup dress, and then I kept my hair black. So it was my own version, and then I actually did the caterpillar, which was pretty cool. And not too many people have seen that, so...
Oh, nice. So there really is... Are there pics floating around with you in those costumes?
Yes. It wasn't actually for a convention. It was for a fashion show that was all Alice in Wonderland themed. And I wanted to do something a little bit different, and there were no other caterpillars that were there.
Nice, nice. And what was your first major, pop culture comic book convention?
Oh, Phoenix. Definitely Phoenix Comic-Con a couple years ago. I want to say 2008 or 9, somewhere in there. It's the first one that I went to, and I had some friends years before that had gone to San Diego when it wasn't a madhouse and almost impossible to get in if you were just a regular Jane Doe off the street, and I was always envious of them because they went every year. And so I was like, you know what? I need to go. I need to do this. So
Exactly. I remember when I first went, it was actually, there goes my Facebook notifications, but when I first went to PCC, that it was located at the Mesa Convention Center, and it was very personable type of convention at that time. I mean, I still love Phoenix Comic Con, but it's gotten so large and so big, I barely get to talk to any of my friends or cosplayers or even artists and writers for that matter. I always miss probably 2/3 of them every time I go to the convention every year now.
well, that's why you have the nice smaller cons that are newer. Like we were just talking off camera about CMX, the Comic and Media Expo in Mesa, which just had its first year, and it's nice and intimate, and you get to talk to your friends and see everybody, and then you can have the big cons to just meet more people, and I don't know, you have a bit of variety with big cons and small cons, and notifications. Notification Con.
Exactly.
We're going to Notification Con.
That actually would be interesting convention to go to. Just a second, I'm going to just turn my Facebook off.
All right.
I get notifications all day long. I have.
Oh no.
Yeah, well.
Popularity. When are you going to start selling prints?
When I get a photographer that would take pictures of me, I highly doubt that will be anytime soon. I might have to get breast implants and maybe a sex change for that to happen. It's I hate to say it, but it's unless you're really cemented in as a male cosplayer, it's really hard for a startup male cosplayer to get into it. I can say there's some that can get into it, but most of the time they already have a partner or a wife or girlfriend that's already in the business herself, so they already kind of know. Oh yeah, well I know you hang around them. I would like to see some of your prints because you do some incredible cosplays. But for single guys that are just trying to get started in the business, it's kind of hard for them to get their way in.
Wrong.
Really?
Wrong. First of all, it's a shame that is the case, because I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
And it is true, and it is unfortunate, and a lot of guys stop before they start because they think it's impossible, but that's a huge untapped market. If you go to a con and you see booth after booth of XX chromosomes, and you're the only Y in the building, that puts you at a huge advantage of an audience that is immense and that would love to see, more male cosplayers. It needs to be balanced.
Well, like I said, that's more of my opinion because that's what I've seen happen at conventions before. And you're right. When you have that there, but like I said, if you have like almost if I'm surprised I don't see a lot of D Pitty's prints out there because he's really popular.
His stuff is videos, though.
Yeah, his stuff is really videos. He might be able to actually sell prints if he was ever, at conventions. Like I met him at Sabo this year. Didn't get to actually see his face because he's always in mask, but
So mysterious.
he's so mysterious. But I have another friend named Harley's Joker.
Yeah.
And he sells prints as well, but he's so well known for his Joker.
Yeah, Anthony's spot on for what he does, and I think the difference too is that he really embodies like the play part of cosplay. Like everyone can put on a good costume, but he really sells it, and that's what puts him heads and shoulders above everybody else, I think.
Exactly, and for him to also be a professional actor as well helps him out be that character.
Yeah, it's part of it. It's the same reason why a lot of female cosplayers also are models.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not a negative thing. It's just saying, if that is your talent, if modeling is your strong suit, if fashion design, acting, whatever it is, prop making, work it, make it work.
Exactly. Now, what are your favorite cosplays that you've done?
Right now, my top 3, because I can't pick one. That's a dirty question.
Oh, really?
You can't ask me to pick just one.
Will your cosplays be like hurt when you hurt their feelings?
Oh yeah, they cry. Those spandex tears of sadness.
You're like, why is my portfolio all wet?
Yeah.
They've been crying tears.
So many tears. So I'd say my top 3 right now are Gamora, my MCU Gamora. I really like Pluto.
Okay.
And probably Inara Sarah. It's one of those that stands out. Not a lot of people might catch who I am if I'm by myself right off the bat. But when they do, it's like, oh wow, I've never seen this done before in this way, and in this dress. Everyone else is in, really like superhero looking stuff, and you see, a floor length evening gown, and you're like, okay, this doesn't really follow with what I'm seeing. It's coming from something, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but if you're like a hardcore nerd and you're a huge Firefly fan, you don't even have to be a comic book fan,
Right.
just more of a sci-fi fan, then yes, that's Inara.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think I remember that didn't Nathan Fillion retweet your picture?
He did, and he said he would be my cosplay companion. And it was one of the greatest moments doing this that I've ever had, obviously.
Nice. And you actually got to meet him at Phoenix Comic Con this year.
Yeah, I got to meet him. Super cool guy. I thanked him for the retweet, and I was obviously in Inara at the time, and he was like, oh, no problem, you look great. It looked great. And I'm like, you're great. I had my moment of fangirling, but it was controlled and contained.
Nice. Now, would you fangirl if you met Zoe Saldana?
Oh, yeah. I would definitely applaud her, because she's all preggers now.
Yeah.
I would applaud her in advance for getting ready for Guardians 2, which just got announced. So I'm like, you've got to, pop out these babies and be, Gamora fit, by the time filming starts.
Well, she will be. She's very good at that.
Yeah, so I'm like, you're awesome. You kick butt. Hot mama. That's what I call her, hot mama.
Exactly. Now, how long does it take to get into that green makeup? Because I know it goes most of your body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically, my whole torso and up. If I'm doing it myself, I use a water-based cake. It's Ben Nye. It takes about an hour for me to do. But the best makeup, Cassidy does. My friend Cassidy O. You can look her up. Casaraptor Creations. She does amazing airbrush work, and if she is airbrushing me, it'll take about 2 hours. But it looks so much better, so I'm going to have her do it every time.
Nice. Does that paint wipe off when you touch it, or does it stay on?
It stays on.
Okay.
It'll be sealed. There's a part on the collar that rubs against my neck, and it'll kind of wear a little bit right there. But overall, like, I can like hug people, move around, and like I have my sword. I can hold my sword, and it's fine. It won't rub off on that.
Fantastic. Are you planning on doing any variations of Gamora later in the future? You know, from the comic book.
Comic book, possibly. I am going to do a prison Gamora because I think that would be fun, and I have a plan to work with another cosplayer with something similar, so that should be fun. Whenever it happens, I'm thinking for Amazing, we might get together and do that, but
Nice.
I can't unveil the plans unless they're for sure happening, because I can't disappoint.
Exactly. Now, have you been to any conventions outside the state of Arizona?
Yeah, I've been to a handful, most recently C4 in Ventura, California, which was definitely interesting because it was like an indoor-outdoor con. It was very relaxed, obviously by the beach. It was on the fairgrounds, and half of like the vendor hall was split up into one area, and then the other was in another place, and then the like all the panels were in a different area, and then there were people outside and on the beach. It's like, okay, this isn't my usual, like, you know, indoor at a convention center type setting, but it was still really fun. Before that, I did Amazing Las Vegas, which was good. I've gone a couple years. It's definitely, you would think, because it's Vegas, that you would see a ton of outrageous costumes, things like that. Not really. Out of all the conventions that I've been to, it's the most like low-key version as far as like attendance in costume go. So
Yeah, I've been planning to go. It's just that every time I get to that point, I look at my wallet and I go, oh, because, you know, previous conventions, just like a month before that, like, that just drained me.
yeah, I was lucky enough to get invited, and I appreciate, you know, wherever I am invited and I get to go. It's always fun. I always have a blast.
Nice. Now, are there any, you know, upcoming costumes or cosplays that you can tell the listeners and the viewers?
Other than Prison Gamora, since that one is new and I haven't announced that one, I am actually going to be retiring one of my Storm costumes.
Ooh.
And I'm going to be replacing it. Which one, we don't know yet. I'm caught between two. There's two possibilities that I'm going to be switching it to.
80s Storm?
What, with the mohawk?
Well, she has it now, but...
Well, yeah, so that's... Well, there's, like, the short mohawk, and then there's, like, the
Yeah.
long, like, mane-looking one. There's no way this hair is getting in a mohawk. It can't
Well,
be done.
I
The
mean-
wasp wig is, like, the, like... that's the extreme.
Why can't you get like a wig or something like that would be able to hang on your head as a mohawk?
Still, the base would be weird. It would be weird and lumpy. I don't know. I don't think I could pull it off. I don't think it could be done.
You don't think you're going to go the Karen Gillan route and surprise everybody at San Diego Comic-Con and go, look, no hair, completely bald.
Yeah, no. You know, good for her. She can do that all day long. You know, good job, Miss Pond, but not me. Not me. Can't do it. So that would be upcoming. Oh, and I do have another one. I'm going to be working with a big group for Amazing Arizona, and we are going to be a giant, massive group of Asgardians.
Oh, nice.
So that will be pretty fantastic when that is done. I think we'll do it Saturday.
Do you have a specific character you're going to be, or you just don't want to announce it yet?
Oh, I know. I
Because
feel
it's
like
in February.
it is in February. I know. It's a ways away.
It's around my birthday time. Woohoo!
Is it? When's your birthday?
February 2nd.
That is pretty close.
Yeah, it is.
I'll have to do something nice for your birthday. 2-2.
Yeah, I actually invited a lot of people to Hooters last year, and I think it was last year, and because it was I did it on a Sunday, people were going to come, and then all of a sudden the fire alarm went off.
Oh, I remember that. I remember when that happened because we were in a panel for AZA, and the alarm went off, and all these kids were in the panel, and they're like, "What do we do?" And they're freaking out. And I was.
Oh,
one
that
of
was PCC. Never mind. That was PCC.
PCC. Yeah, is that what you were talking
No,
about?
I'm thinking Amazing. Never mind. Amazing was a different time.
Oh.
Yeah.
There are so many fires.
Yeah, well, it's
and
the,
so many
the same
alarms.
location. I keep mixing them up where they are.
That's okay.
Yeah. And now Sabaton is going to be nearly the same area for next year.
At the Sheraton.
Yeah, it's going to be, but it's right down the road from PCC.
Everything's like moving and congealing to like Central Phoenix, which is good because then more people can go to it. I hate when there are events way on the east side because I'm way on the west side.
Yeah,
So,
well, I know
stay
this.
central.
I know this is going a little off subject, but I really liked, and this is just my opinion, so don't kill me, Greg. But I really like the location of Sabo. Where
Me too.
it has been for a while, and it just seemed like home to me.
Mhm.
And nothing against the location it's going to. I just felt that, all those other conventions should stay in Central Phoenix, and I felt Sabo should be where it should be now, but it's moving for next year. FanFest is actually going to be near the same location at the University of Phoenix Stadium. That is coming up, and you're going to be there, right?
Yep, I'm doing a full event. I'll find out booth information as the time draws closer because we're exactly a month out today.
Yeah.
So I will get more info and find out, but I'm hoping. I'm doing a Game of Thrones cosplay, so it will be my second long and fabulous dress. I'm going to be Ilaria.
Oh, nice.
So there's your other giveaway. So Ilaria, Prison Gamora, and a new storm that is unnamed for now until I decide what I want to do.
I wonder who's going to go to. Are you going to have like a whole Game of Thrones group?
Yes.
Anybody going to be the Mountain?
No. Would you like to be?
No.
Okay.
But he needs to be holding like a melon head or something like that. Just like it looks
Too
like
soon.
squished. Oh, come on. And if anybody hasn't seen that episode, what are you waiting for? There are things called torrents to download.
That's true.
Allegedly.
Stream it.
Yeah, or stream it on HBO Go. But no, that scene I just remember because I read the books, so I knew what was going to happen.
It was
But
rough, but still.
seeing it, you can imagine it, but seeing it, it's like, whoa, that.
I couldn't eat grapes for a week. I was like, just, nope.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I know you're cosplaying Ilaria, but who is your is that your favorite character, or do you have other favorite characters on Game of Thrones?
I do. Ones that are alive or dead.
Both, like
Yeah.
on both sides.
Since there is. I love the dragons. Obviously, who doesn't love the dragons? I loved in season 1 Daenerys' brother, Viserys. He was such a jerk. Loved him. Miss him. Want him to come back. All smelted in the head and everything.
If this was Walking Dead, you might be able to, but
He might be. Oh yeah.
well, speaking of Walking
yeah.
Dead, yeah, there's a literally Walking Dead taking forever to get to wherever they're supposed to go.
I'm kind of over Walking Dead.
Oh, really?
I'm going to be the first person to say it. Throw your spears and rocks at me. I don't care. First and second season, okay. And then it just kind of lost it for me. I don't know. I don't hate it, but
So no prison for you, no terminus, just kind of dropped off from The Walking Dead in general.
yeah. I don't know. I don't get the hype. I don't get who is it? Dixon, that everybody
Daryl
loves.
Dixon? I think it's for a lot of women, it's somebody to be there to protect them, and they just have that southern charm that I guess some women are into.
Like
And it's
Rogue.
just Norman Reedus, And if anybody's like Boondock Saints fan, they're just
I am. Like, he's awesome. Like, I want to hang out with him. I don't want to hang out with him.
yeah.
Different. So, I don't know. I don't get it, but, I mean, there's a lot of people that would probably get my weird crushes and think that they're weird.
Well, let's see. Well, we know that you're kind of dropping off the Walking Dead quote-unquote bandwagon. What other shows do you watch? Have you watched like Arrow or Gotham or The Flash or Constantine? Any of these bigger, these other comic book shows?
I'm not really into much TV until it comes out. Like, I can watch a season at a time.
Okay.
So
like
have
Netflix or something like that?
Right. I watched... Gotham is the only thing that I'm kind of keeping up on, and so far I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the first episode was, a little ham-fisted in the way that they tried to be like, look, here's people that you know. Catwoman. Oh, look, this girl, her name's Ivy, and she's tending to plants. It was just like a lot of characters all in one episode, so that kind of irked me. But overall, I'm liking it. I'm very curious about Fish Mooney.
Yeah.
I think everybody is.
Well, when I first heard about her role, I didn't know how well she would play it, if she would do it very campingly, or if she would be very serious. She's sort of in the middle of that, that area of like almost going over the top and then being really scary to the point. But my favorite character is actually the Penguin.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because he just almost steals every scene, even with Benjamin McKenzie, who plays Jim Gordon in here, who's the main character of the show. He steals the scene away from him every time he's in there. He's
the Loki of the show. I'm just gonna say it. Bias aside, but it's true. It's true. I forget about old Gordon. I'm like, okay, let's see what these two do.
Yeah, I've been a fan of Mackenzie for a while. I mean, ever since the OC. So.
Watch the OC.
I'm a huge TV watcher, so I as a also TV and movie critic, I watch a lot of television, a lot of movies. Into the movie side, are there any recent movies that you've seen that you've really enjoyed?
Honestly, not since Guardians.
Not since Guardians.
Yeah, so I'm very selective about what I watch now. So if it's not a Marvel or DC movie, I'll go see them. Just because. If anything but a Wolverine movie. If we get another Wolverine movie, then I'm going to scream. And not watch it while I'm screaming.
Did Iron's Last Samurai hurt you in some way?
The Last Samurai?
No, the Iron Last Samurai.
Oh, God, Silver Samurai?
Yeah,
in the Wolverine?
That's what I was trying to get at, so.
Yeah, it was, we won't talk about it. It was almost as bad as Daredevil or Elektra. That's a low blow.
Every time I hear one of my friends actually kind of diss Daredevil, with Ben Affleck, I always throw them back at the director's cut, because most of them that say that have not seen the director's cut, and that completely changes the movie, all around. In fact, that's what the director wanted, and the studio's like, no, we must throw this love story in, and the director's cut completely cuts the love story out.
They should have done that for Thor 2.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, there wasn't really much there for Natalie Portman to do.
Not be in it would have been better.
Well,
and I like her, and Jane Foster could have been a good character, or as a support. I would have loved to seen her and Darcy. I get you have to have like a comic relief, okay.
Yeah.
She's just that quirky girl.
Yeah.
Throw them in with S.H.I.E.L.D. doing stuff. Like, her and Coulson bantering would have been a better use of her character than to look at this blonde Adonis from the stars and all science until he shows up, because that's what it's like.
Yeah, and then she becomes, like, save me. What?
Forgettable. I mean, granted, if I was possessed with the ether, I'm pretty sure that I'd be rendered senseless and passing out on command, but...
True, but, I'll have to admit that her dialogue wasn't, well handled as a character, just to keep people interested in her as a character. I'm more interested in Sif.
Yeah, which also got really cut, and I was upset about that.
Yeah, well, I think they're worried about audiences looking more towards Sif as a love interest than Natalie Portman's character, Jane Foster, because people, at least of her fans really love Sif, and wish that, even though they try to keep them apart in a way in the movies, fans are like, no, Sif is a much more interesting character, and she's a warrior too.
Yeah, and they're going off of comic canon as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense to me, but Jane also has her place too, so I don't know. It's just when they try to force things and force stories and relationships, it kind of gets tired very fast, especially in a sequel. Because we're like, okay, haven't we moved past this? Can we go on? Exactly. Now, let's see. You said that you're going to have a booth at
PCC Fan Fest, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Are you're gonna have a booth at Amazon? Not at Amazon.
At
Amazing.
Amazon.com.
No,
I
amazing.
will have a booth.
Amazing. For some reason, I have Amazon on my mind. But amazing. Are you gonna have a booth there as well?
I hope. We will see. That's to be announced. Your computer's doing crazy things.
Yeah. Sometimes it does things by itself. It's really creepy.
I think it also is possessed with ether.
It's possessed with wanting to break down on me, and I have to get a new PC soon.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Ultron can fix that, I'm sure.
No, that'd be bad.
Bad or good. I mean, it depends on how much you care about humanity.
Yes, or Ultron.
I do.
I don't trust Ultron.
Really?
Yeah, well, especially if he's voiced by James Spader. But unless I'm watching Blacklist, then there's just... That's another show. Have you ever got...
I have. I love Spader, so when he was announced, I freaked out.
Okay, so you've been keeping up with old Blacklist?
Somewhat. I think I've left off, so don't give me any spoilers, but we'll have to talk about it later. We can blacklist it.
Definitely, because they'll probably try to kill us because they're like, I have 5 in my DVR that I haven't watched yet.
No.
That show, surprisingly, with James Spader's popularity going way up from Blacklist, to get a role like Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
And they really don't do much to his voice. Most of the time you hear somebody's voice get really machine, thrown in the blender and you barely know that's the voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
You really can tell that's James Spader as Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
And his voice is so low and monotone, but it's so commanding.
It's very distinctive, and I'm glad because if Ultron is as advanced as he is, I don't expect him to sound like some cheap auto-tune crazy Betamax recording of his own voice. So I think just keeping it normal. Well, the same thing what they did with Christopher Eccleston with Malekith. He was just altered just slightly for his speaking roles.
But most of the time we heard him in Elvish, and he kind of threw it off.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think as James Spader, he can throw out like quirky, like sarcastic comments of the Avengers, and he just has this really commanding voice that he might become another fan favorite like Loki as a villain.
Oh yeah, I definitely think he's the best choice since the Avengers franchise was obviously so huge. Ronan kind of got glossed over in Guardians.
Ronan was not in my way treated the way that I think Ronan should have been treated.
Exactly. So that's how I feel about Malekith and a lot of villains. Because villains are my thing. And Loki and Magneto, my two favorites, and I feel like they're the only ones that have been done justice thus far. But I have high hopes with Ultron, and I think from what we've seen, they also released an extended trailer today.
Oh yeah,
seen it?
Oh yeah, I posted it up on Gnerd Corner.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, after seeing that, I was like, okay, they're taking this in the direction that it needs to go in, where the villain is equal part formidable force and charisma, and they have to be a threat. They have to be a little bit unstable. Like, the obvious flaw in Ultron is he's not even alive. The obvious flaw with Loki was we know his goal. We know what he's after. So it's like, oh, okay, well, we know how to defeat them, but we don't really know how exactly yet. So I think for a follow-up villain, Ultron is an awesome choice. Awesome.
Exactly. Hold on a second. I actually need to check the time on my camera.
Let's check it.
Yes, hold on.
Dun dun dun. I can keep talking. The show's all about me.